Presidential candidate Mike Bloomberg wants to hit Wall Street with a $1 trillion tax. The billionaire proposed new policies that would raise $5 trillion in taxes on the rich and corporations earlier this month. That proposal includes repeal of President Trump's 2017 tax cuts for high earners, plus a new 5% surcharge on incomes over $5 million per year. Bloomberg is including more new taxes in his plan versus moderate Joe Biden, but less than Bernie Sanders or Elizabeth Warren. Joining us now to break this all down, we have Doug Flynn. He's a certified financial planner and the co-founder of Flynn Capital Management. Thanks for coming on. Obviously, this is targeting big Wall Street guys, but what impact, if anything, does this have on the small investor?
Well, it has quite a big impact, actually. If you look at he wants to also do a financial transaction tax, which is, it doesn't sound like a lot, 0.1% of every stock and bond transaction. But most people own stocks through their 401k. More than half of the people in the United States have some connection to the market through their retirement plans or directly. And if you do the math on that, it's basically going to raise the underlying costs of their investments by about 10%. In a time when everybody's trying to save money and lower costs, this is going to raise that. So that means capital is going to flow elsewhere. And every time you do the math on this, the money they think they're going to raise by this, $750 billion on this alone, it's not going to materialize, and that's the big problem here.
At the same time, Doug, Bloomberg made millions on some of the backs of the same companies that now he's telling he's going to come after and get. How does he square that?
Yeah, it's crazy because he is absolutely, he made his billions selling to Wall Street, and now he's going after these people and then sometimes escalating fines against them. But at the same time, everyone on Wall Street seems to be totally okay with Bloomberg as president, especially compared to the people who are much farther to the left than him. So they'll take him over the rest of the crew, I think, is what this is. I don't think they'll be happy about it, but it also means to me that it's probably unlikely to actually happen. And I think that's what they're betting on, at least putting their money there when they need to, because he's not asking for any money yet.
All right, talking about money, a lot of candidates on the stage last night, at the debate stage last night with Bloomberg, calling for Bloomberg to release his taxes. I want to play this for you and then get your take on this, but here's what he had to say.
It just takes us a long time. Unfortunately or fortunately...
Can I comment on that?
Fortunately, I make a lot of money, and we do business all around the world, and we are preparing it. The number of pages will probably be in the thousands of pages. I can't go to TurboTax.
Okay, so he can't go to TurboTax. I think there's like two things there, right? One, does he really relate to the average American? And then number two, he did also bring up a point, too, last night that he just got in the race, so he just started preparing all this. What are your thoughts on both of those items?
Yeah, I don't think he relates directly to the average American. Most people are filing a simple 1040 form or taking a standard deduction. That's probably 3/4 of the United States. But it is true. I do have clients who their tax return can literally be 1,000 pages because they have multiple jurisdictions and states and countries and whatnot. So it's not an untrue statement that he needs to put it together and then redact whatever he's allowed to redact, I'm sure, because they actually don't put out the actual every detail of the entire form. So I think he doesn't really directly relate to people in that way. But I think he will put them out. He did put them out while he was mayor to the point of that he had to, and I think he'll do it again. He probably does just need to ramp that up. So, I'll give him a pass on that one.
Okay, we'll see if he gets around to it. Doug, which candidate would people on Wall Street be most inclined to vote for?
Yeah, I think if you take Bernie Sanders on the left being the person that absolutely they do not want because of what that would do, his proposals are 5 times the cost of Bloomberg's. I think the moderate side of it are the people that Wall Street would be the most comfortable with. And the investor class, which is who I represent, anyone who has investments. And so I think somebody like a Klobuchar, people who are more capitalist friendly are going to be on the side of the investor. Now, Elizabeth Warren says she's a capitalist, but really she's a socialist just saying she's a capitalist, where Bloomberg is basically a capitalist saying he likes some socialist things, where I think somebody like Klobuchar has come out and said at the previous time, she was the only one who raised her hand and said, I'm worried about a socialist as part of the party. So I think somebody like that might play well. And even Mayor Pete, I think, is a little bit more socialist than investors would like. So that's my take on it, but we'll see how it plays out.
On the debate stage last night, as you're saying there, Doug, socialism finally came up. It came up by Bernie Sanders. Bloomberg chimes in. Let's play this.
We're not going to throw out capitalism. We tried that. Other countries tried that. It was called communism, and it just didn't work.
Low blow there, Doug?
Well, yes and no. I mean, we all know that, Bernie was justifying last night his socialist policies because we already have some socialist things here, like Social Security and other types of, Medicare. So since we already have them, it isn't a big deal to go further socialist. And what that means is, well, if you go socialist, the next leg of this is communism. And so I don't think anybody wants that, but you can't just put some socialist things in there and then use that as the excuses to why we need more socialism because we put some of those things in there. But no, I don't think it's really a low blow because that's the next step. If we get comfortable at socialism, what's next?
All right, great question there. Doug Flynn, he's a certified financial planner and the co-founder of Flynn Capital Management. Thanks for being with us.